Back on the hardwood today, NE10 Now, the podcast. We go up to Manchester and visit with SNHU's reigning Northeast 10 Women's Basketball Player of the Year, Adriana Timberlake. And actually, I think the reigning Player of the Week as we talk as well. You pick which one is more impressive. But you are coming off maybe SNHU's best win this season, going on the road and knocking off Bentley as a top 10 team. You had a small hand in it. So first off, congratulations in the season that you guys have had, the week that you guys have had. Tell me about the final play, though. For you to go coast to coast with 12 seconds left, walk me through what was running through your mind.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And honestly, 12 seconds left. We had a timeout previously before that, so it was good to, draw something up, but couldn't advance the ball, so that was a big thing. We had to go coast to coast in 12 seconds. I took the ball out of bounds. Macy, who's our point guard, was getting double teamed, so our freshman had to come up all the way. She got the ball in, passed it back to me, and I was like, oh God, 12 seconds. Obviously not a lot of time, but definitely felt like the longest 12 seconds ever. We came down, and the play that we had drawn up was a play that we had done previously on the other side of the floor, so we switched the side this time. And so I came down on the right side going to the left, and I came over. We actually ran the play completely wrong, so that was good. But I came down, crossed over, got through two defenders, saw the hoop wide open, and I was like, okay, I've got to shoot it. Not enough time. I let it go, and again, that was the longest drop of a ball going in the hoop that I've ever felt before. Took a weird bounce and it went in, and it was just an awesome feeling.
So two things I wanted to point out in that answer. The first of which is it's okay for normal people, because for you to go, oh God, there's the reigning Player of the Year in the league, and she's like, oh my God. I love that anecdote, but also for you to say it felt like the longest 12 seconds. There's two
Yes.
ways that can go, right? It can be the longest 12 seconds or the fastest 12 seconds where everything is
Right.
in a blur.
Yes.
Why did it slow down? Why did it feel like the longest 12 seconds?
I honestly, I just think because coming from the other end of the floor, having to go all the way down, it just felt so long. I think maybe just going the length of the court. But I feel like if we were to be in the half court and have to like rush to get it in and go from the sideline, it would have been more difficult. But I don't know.
Did
It
it
was
almost
just,
feel better because you had to go the length of the court?
I think so. Yes. Yes.
Interesting. That's
Yes.
for all those advance the ball people. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about your season. You come off a Player of the Year season. What did you do coming into the year to say, all right, how can I individually improve on what I put on the court last year?
Honestly, we had a meeting with the coaches the beginning of the year, what I want to get better at, what I want to work on. My 3-point shot was definitely something that I wanted to get better at, improve my percentage, and then just be more efficient on the court. So I feel like last year I had been shooting the ball a ton and not being as efficient. And this year I've definitely been working on being more efficient on offense.
How does one come to that realization? Because everybody wants to shoot the ball, and I feel like sometimes that's a hard realization to come to.
Yes.
Walk me through that maturation.
Well, I definitely like to look at the box scores, not just myself, but team box scores as well. And I had been noticing like, wow, 9 for 20 or 6 for 18. And I was just wasn't liking those numbers, and the percentages weren't as high. And I think slimming those down and taking smarter shots would definitely increase my efficiency.
Where do you think you've been smarter in that shot selection?
I think more using my mid-range game more than driving all the way to the hoop and barreling through and committing a charge. So I've definitely been smarter on stopping on a dime and shooting rather than barreling through.
You've been open in other interviews, and Coach Pinko said it before the season started when she and I spoke. You said in a team meeting that you were, in a weird way, thankful for the pandemic because
Yeah.
you have this extra year. You're a fifth year senior, and
Yes.
I've heard coaches talk about it in a red shirt term as well. Like what year would you rather have? You as an 18-year-old freshman, or you as a 22 or 23-year-old senior?
Right.
What is different for you being the elder statesman and having this year at the end of your career when you're at your height of your career being able to play as opposed to having used it earlier on?
I think definitely experience is a big one for me. Obviously, as a freshman, you don't know the plays as well. You don't know who you're playing as well. And now being a fifth year, I can actually go through games and be like, oh, I actually know what this girl's gonna do. I've played her for 4 years now. Um, and just the whole like scouting aspect of the game, you start to understand concepts better, run through them quicker, and just adapt quicker to their offensive plays, which is pretty good.
You did an interview with Bob Littman where you talked about your recruiting process and you said it was maybe prep school or you were down to that or two different schools in the NE10 weren't very heavily recruited. And now we're sitting here having a conversation about like, how did you improve on your player of the year season? Um, what clicked for you? And when did that happen that you go from someone that was very under the radar to somebody that I'm sure a lot of programs would take, and I'm sure that Coach Pincos is glad she still has.
I'm very, very happy with my decision that I made. Um, I don't think I would have felt as good of a player at the higher level. I'm very comfortable with having the schedule that I have and having the summer off and being able to work on my own rather than having to go to a practice every other day or classes over the summer. But I don't know, just I think picking coming to a D2 school was the perfect decision for me.
I was gonna say, what about SNHU uniquely crafted you into the player that you are, or the person that you are?
Um, well, I think coming in my freshman year, we had a pretty solid team, a lot of girls that want to win. Obviously, I came in as a freshman with a player that I played in high school, Jenna Roach. That was another deciding factor for me. Coming in with a player that I knew. Obviously, she's a winner too. Braintree, we had an unbelievable run. And just being able to come in with players that were older, more experienced. They taught me the ropes, and then COVID happened. Obviously, that stunk. It was my sophomore year, and then coming back, obviously, we were just that more hungry to win and making it as far as we could, carrying it over next year, and here we are.
Who did you grow up idolizing in a basketball sense? Like, were you a UConn girl growing up, being from the Northeast, or who was your go-to?
Honestly, it was the girls that were in high school when I was younger. So there was Ashley Russell, Bridget Hurley, Brianna Hurley. There was an absolute squad at Braintree High that I always wanted to grow up to be those types of girls. Ashley Russell was the Gatorade Player of the Year. She went on to play at UPenn. And just looking up to those girls from when I was younger just gave me like a sense of I want to be just like them. I want to grow up to be the basketball players that they are and the girls that they are.
What would young Adriana Timberlake think about where you are now?
I think she'd be pretty blown away.
Is it weird to think about it on the other side that maybe there's somebody who looks at you the same way?
Yes, definitely. Because my dad, he coaches a younger AAU team, and I think it's funny that when I come to practice, they're all just staring at me. Oh my God, Adriana's here! Like we have to do our best, and I'm like, I really don't care. Just go out and play.
I was going to ask about that because I know you want to coach and I know you want to coach at that level. What is it about being able to impact younger players that intrigues you the most?
Well, I think it's pretty cool to see the growth of a player from when they're younger to going into high school. Even now, when we work camps at Southern New Hampshire over the summer, I've had girls that are in the youngest group my first year, and they're now almost in high school. And just the growth that they've shown of a basketball player, being able to shoot from the 3-point line now when they were here, they couldn't even make a layup. But I think it's really cool that just to see the growth of where they can go.
Adriana Timberlake joins us here. I want to end on the hard questions. You guys got bounced in the NE10 Championship last year. You are in an absolute dogfight right now with the top four teams in the conference. Fill in the blank for me. SNHU will be where it wants to be at the end of the season if blank.
NE10 champs, definitely want that. I was not too happy after the last season, obviously, and I always say I'm just more hungry to become an NE10 champ after the loss we had last year.
Adriana, appreciate the time. Best of luck in doing that and looking forward to see how the rest of the season plays out.
Thank you.